So this is going to be a hard mode Zuk, Inferno, whatever you want to call it guide, just showing you where all the lures are for each wave. I'm going to put inventory and gear set up on screen somewhere. And I'll probably put description for each wave, timestamps, just so you can figure out where to go if you only care about a single wave. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Wave 1, doesn't really matter where you stand, but I like to stand east of this L rock. Mostly because that's where you want to stand wave 2. So, Sunshine or Death's Witness, you can do whatever. I think Ranger Mage should be fine using these lures. I'm not the best PVMer by far, but first thing to watch out for wave 1, I like to Devotion Limitless and then do a bunch of AoEs. You want to watch out for these birds coming from the south. When they say something, they throw like a rock at your position, and that'll drain your adrenaline and health. So you want to dodge it. I think I tried to dodge it and accidentally just clicked something else's hitbox, but not a huge deal. There's plenty of time to soul split and shit on next phase. So stay where you are, pre-range, burst this dude up here. Then once you kill him, you play melee, put a bunch of bleeds on these guys, and then you want to run southeast when he does the fire wave. I like to Greater Chain Omni Power these guys. If you stand right where I'm standing, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but that'll lure the Ranger northwest, and it'll lure all the melees over here. You'll notice the bird's nuking me because I'm too lazy to move. I keep forgetting. Uh, Again, not a huge deal, but when you see him talk, or you can hear him like just then, if you move, they'll stop bothering you, or it won't hit you rather. So yeah, nothing special. Rest of this, I'm gonna jump forward. Oh, that was too far for what I'm looking at least. So wave 2, you want to stand in the northeast corner, right where this kind of diagonal line is. Depending on how long it's been since the next burn, if it's coming out beforehand, kind of like this one, then you can go right in this spot immediately. If not, then, well, you start in the spot, and then if you hear burn, you can go northwest up the diagonal, up to like 3 squares without messing anything up. But the ranger will be able to hit you eventually from there. But the fire should usually be gone, and you can go back to this spot before then. So it's pretty simple. You just kill the big melee that's on you. After that, you kill the melee across east or west from you rather, and then if the ranger is hitting you while you're killing this meleeer, go down the diagonal one more. So by down I mean southeast, one more square. There is a square where you can hit the meleeer and the ranger can't hit you, or you can just pre-range. But yeah. Once the meleeer dies, the ranger won't automatically run forward unless you're in the square where he couldn't attack you. If you don't go into that square, so you were letting him attack you, then when you go to hit him, you're going to run forward a couple squares. And that might mess up the lure, and I think that's actually what happens in this clip. Or I just misclick and run forward too much. If you mess up the lure, not a big deal. All it does is makes you not be able to say flood all these melee people. But tag on melee, devotion, burst the one ranger to the south, and then you'll be good. This is kind of a scuffed run, at least for this wave. But it's still fine. Just leave the smaller meleeer in front of you. Or, yeah, leave the smaller meleeer alive like I did if you screw up like that. Also, if the ranger doesn't get unlured, you actually don't even have to kill him, kind of like what's happening here. But this is a little bit suboptimal, but this wave is really not that scary anyway, so I wasn't going to restart the run just to get a perfect one of these. So jumping forward to wave 4, you want to stand in. You kind of have a 2x2 grid that you can stand in, that it'll be fine. But you want to stand in the southwest corner. You want to stand kind of flush or one to the north of the kind of long part of the L rock to your east. Threshold bursts this ranger here. and pray, unlike what I did. Um, Once you kill him, or before you kill him, a ranger will spawn right next to you. A ranger will spawn directly north. You're gonna have a big melee southeast. You're gonna have small melee northeast. You're gonna have a major way east, a big major way east, and then the mage infernal thingy also east. So once they all file in, you're going to have a safe spotted ranger to your north. You're going to have a safe spotted meleeer, well, two meleeers, one on each side of the L rock to your east. You're going to have two safe spotted mages behind that, depending on where you're standing. If you're standing in line with the L, you'll drag the doggy major to the L rock. If you're standing one north of the long part of the L, the doggy major will stay way in the back with the other major. The important part is to stand properly east to west here, otherwise the like strong hitting ranger will fuck you up. So there's a couple things you can do from here. If you go north a couple squares, you will unlure the small major and bring it into the L rock, and then you can move back south and kill it with a ton of wiggle room. If you stay where you are and you go one square east, you'll be able to hit the ranger and nothing else will be able to hit you. And once you kill the ranger from that same positioning, you'll be able to kill the strong melee dude. It kind of depends on when you think the fire's coming. If you think the fire's coming soon, you want to unlure the mage and kill the mage so that you have some east to west wiggle room to dodge the fire. If it's fired recently, then you can kill the ranger first, but it's safer to kill the mage first because of the fire. Because if you don't kill that mage, when the fire comes, you will be unluring at least one thing to dodge it, more than likely. Or you'll get greedy to try to not unlure things and get killed by the fire, which you don't want. So I generally kill the mage first, but I think there's another run, or there's another wave later where I kill the ranger first, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, when the fire comes, like I was alluding to, also, maybe I should have said this way before, but you want to have sound on while you're doing this because sound tells you when the fire's coming. I never look at chat, so that's really the best option. But anyway, when the fire's coming, you just run either a couple squares south or a couple squares north. If you run south, you got to be careful because if you run too far, you will unlure the meleeer, and that's true for whenever you're using this area. So generally, I will run north to dodge the fire, and that will unlure the mage, which is why you want to kill the mage first. Anyway, moving forward, or moving on, I guess, you kill the ranger, you stun the melee dude, fuck the melee dude up. Then you run north. You can devotion if you want to, or you can pray mage, kill the doggy, then freedom to get rid of the bleed the dog gives you, then soul split off of the meleeer. Or you can kill the meleeer first and then kill the dog later. You know, it's whatever. But if you unlure the dog, you usually want to kill the dog first. The only other thing to note on this wave is you want to make sure it fires. It does a wave of fire while you're killing the mage, because you can get fucked and get a wave of fire while you're trying to DPS suck on the next phase, or I guess it's kind of like phase 4.5 because it's not phase 5, or wave 5 rather. So I like to wait for a wave of fire here. As long as it comes out here, unless you take like a whole minute to kill this thing, you won't get one while you're doing the Zuk stuff. So I just recommend, slowing down if you're going to do that. So once it dies, you come over here, and at least for mage, the rotation that I found that makes sure you 99% of the time get it is you sunshine, then hit the button, greater conch, dragon breath, limitless, wild magic, sip your adrenaline renewal, asphyxiate, greater conch, what the shit is this called? Rack and Ruin or whatever. Rack and Ruin, EOF, or not EOF, Ingenuity, Saren Godbow, Greater Conch, and then, depending on the health, either Gothic Staff EOF or another Dragon Breath. I should have noted before, maybe I'll go back and add it, we'll see. because I'm lazy as fuck. For pretty much the whole wave, you want to use whatever the ice one is. It's not Incite Fear. That might be right. Whatever. You want to use the ice one for most of it, and you want to use Exsanguinate or whatever the heck the other one's called, just for Zuck. I don't know if that's necessary, but I found that I'm more consistent when I have Rack and Ruin. Alright, so moving into these little small dudes. So, when you phase him, keep building. When he like pulls you, you can freedom and anticipate to still build adrenaline while he pulls you or whatever. So to deal with these dudes, what I like to do is Greater Conch, the northmost one, then Wild Magic, that same one. Swap to the middle one of the three, kind of in the arc that's east to south, and Greater Chain, Omnipower. You gotta have the Mage Cape for that to work. And then usually like Greater Conch and like Asphyxiate or Rack and Ruin or Guth. I do different stuff every time. Kill that dude and then just finish off the straggler. Sometimes the Greater Chain Omnipower will kill two of these guys. Sometimes it'll only kill the middle one and leave the other two really low health. I think I've seen it kill all three like once, but I think you have to roll pretty high. Like I think you have to crit to kill the non-main target ones, because you only get 2 of the 4 Omnipower hits. But anyway, just finish them off. You don't have to pass this challenge. You only have to pass this challenge if you want to go for a flawless run. And failing it, you'll just get hit by like 5k for each one that's still alive. So try to leave only one alive or you're going to die. Alright, anyway, moving to wave 6. So there's this like kind of, I wouldn't really call it an L rock, whatever the heck this thing is, kind of in the middle to the west side. You want to stand right where I'm standing here. So sometimes you get screwed and this geyser thing is going off, but you still kind of want to stand there. It's still kind of the best option. You can stand a bit to the north until the rest of the wave has spawned, just to avoid some of that damage. But that's really the square you want to be in. And it's worth tanking a bit of damage and eating a little bit of food or sipping some brews to not have to deal with it. So anyway, there's 3 rangers that you can attack from the square. 1 west, 1 north, and 1 kind of northeast. You kill those 3. By the time you finish with that, there will be a big melee and a bird that will have spawned and lured themselves to your south. You want to kill these guys. I like the Greater Chain Omnipower. That'll pretty much wipe them. But, well, for example, if you're using range, I don't know. Just kill them. Anyway, then you walk 2 squares north, prey range, AoE these dudes. Somewhere around here, a fire should be en route. Hopefully you kill the rangers beforehand, otherwise it can kind of be annoying because you have to wait for it to go away. Anyway, kill this meleeer. When the wave comes, just run west, I guess. The fire wave, that is. Then, as you run west, you'll unlure this bird, kill the bird, run up, kill Jad. Nothing fancy. So, what I like to do, though, is I like to, well, I like to go a little slow on this Jad and wait for another fire wave so that I know I have like a whole minute on the next phase, not to have to deal with the fire wave. But also, I like to build up the full, and I like to natural instinct. Now, I don't know if this is actually needed, but this is what I was doing to like get my first couple kills when I was learning, or I guess coming up with these lures. Now that I have them down, I don't actually think you need this, but having a bunch of adrenaline extra is still good. So I just said that I like to wait for the wave, but in this clip I really didn't. That's because I knew it was coming in like 10 seconds, and I also know that this next wave takes a while for everything to spawn, so I like to stand kind of more north than I want to be, where I want to be is the same place I was in wave 4. I like to stand more north than where I want to be until I hear him do the fire wave. So I tsunami this little bird to get the crit modifier to gain more adrenaline. Again, I don't know if this is needed. This is just what I developed, and now it's what I do. Anyway, after you kill this bird, you go south a couple squares, right back into the same square you were for wave 4, because it's kind of that's just the best spot to lure everything in the wave. You're gonna have half the wave spawned, and then a couple more rangers are going to spawn afterwards. You want to walk from this spot, you want to walk 1 square south. Oh, maybe I already did it. So you have to be flush with the L, and that will pull the major into attack range. Now you want to kill that major because pretty much everything else on this wave, save for I think one more major maybe, is range. So you want to kill that thing, but you get hit by a lot of these range dudes to get hit by trucks. So you can devotion here, but I would recommend barricading and finish off the major. And your priorities are 1 to deal damage to the heavy hitting ranger, and 2 get back up the full adrenaline. I got a relentless proc, so number 2 was automatically accomplished. But either way, you don't have to one shot him. You just want to make sure that as your barricade runs out, you devotion, and you make sure you're killing stuff to continuously extend your devotion. But already you should be pretty good because everything's lured to the point where you can kill pretty much one at a time. Going north to tag this guy kind of unlures a bit of stuff, but that actually drags this bird into the L rock, which you want to do, and then it drags 1 ranger. You kind of see me shimmying south and north to pull this ranger into attack distance. But then it all gets ruined because the stupid fire comes. But that's fine because, again, these are all rangers. And the hard-hitting ranger is out of range because of the guy in front of him. That's the main thing. But then you have to... So what I could have done is I could have run west to drag them closer to me. And then not had both of them hitting me. But again, they're both... As long as they're both the same style... And you can get on these hard-hitting rangers within a certain amount of time before their attack ramps up. It's not that big a deal. But that lure is really good for isolating. You can, if you take it slow and you kind of wiggle them into your attack range without unluring yourself, you can pretty much fight everything one-on-one once you clear the first couple things that are in that corner. So wave 8 is pretty much the hardest wave in my opinion. I like to go into it natural instincted, just cause. But actually, I forgot to do it this time, so never mind. So it's the same spot, exact same spot. This spot is like perfect for luring. Like I said, there's kind of a 2x2 grid where you want to stand, but flush with the L or 1 square north of it, and I guess kind of two east from the wall. That's kind of the happy spot. So I like to tsunami this guy. I have the right spell on this time. So you want to burst that mage. So now you're going to have a bunch of rangers, but it's going to be a bunch of the hard-hitting rangers spawn. And then you're going to have 1 mage that gets lured by the L rock. So, and this fire was not great. But luckily, even though the animation looks like I'm in it, luckily there's 1 square that kept me safe. Then I misclicked. Don't do that. But anyway, you wanna barricade pretty early. The only reason why I'm not barricading immediately is because I got an enhanced devoted proc, and then I think I got a devoted proc on top of my enhanced devoted proc. But anyway, just do some damage to these dudes, and then when you barricade, you pretty much run out of the lure and kill the 1 major. So in that sense, I guess I'm really not doing a whole lot of luring in this wave at least. But as long as you can mostly clear the major by the time barricade wears off, then you want to devotion and try to knock down as many of these guys as possible. But then when your devotion's about to wear off, you can run north to this. This is an L rock, whatever the heck this is. I mean, it's kind of an L, whatever. You run north to this rock, and then if you stand on the eastern side of it, you can kind of lure some of them to the point where only 1 or 2 attacks you. But first you have to get rid of the ones on the other side and dodge the fire. Ruining my commentating. So anyway, yeah, on the east side of this rock, you can kind of get them stuck on each other and then kill 1 at a time. But I still think you want to start in that southwest corner just to get them lined up in this position and to trap the meleeer. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'll revisit this wave. But I think for the rest of the run, the lures are about as good as they get. Maybe I'll be proven wrong by like Evolussari or something in like 2 days. But we'll see. Anyway, you kill all these dudes. Go back and soul split the meleeer. Wave 9 is a carbon copy of Wave 4. But I think I did the kill order a little differently just to show the different possibilities. So I'll go through that again. Um, but if you've seen wave 4, it's the exact same everything. Dodge the wave of fire when it comes out, and because the wave of fire came out immediately this time, as I was saying in wave 4, your kill order is kind of up to you, whatever your kill order you want to be. But I know a wave of fire is not coming out, so I'm not in a hurry to kill the major because the only way to unlure it is either intentionally or being forced to by the wave of fire. So I think I default to killing the ranger first this time. Doesn't really matter. The only way it would matter is if you're low health and you want to figure out a prioritization order where you can soul split, then tank a little bit, then soul split, then tank a little bit, just to kind of juggle your health a little bit, as opposed to being low and then having to tank stuff even with prayer. But anyway, more of the same from wave 4. This lure keeps everything stuck, and I did unlure the dog again. Maybe the third repeat of this wave I don't unlure the dog, so I can just demonstrate that. But we'll see. I'm gonna kind of fast forward because actually maybe I won't because I did timestamps, or I'm going to do timestamps. So anyway, kill the meleeer, run east, pray mage, kill the dog, devotion if you want to, but you don't have to. Depends on what your health's at. After the dog dies, you want to freedom because it has a bleed. Kill the meleeer, kill the major, wait for the fire wave while you're killing the major to the east because you don't want to get fire waved while you're killing Zuk immediately following this because that would be AIDS and ruin your damage. So jumping back to the middle. So same rotation as before. Sunshine, extraction button, greater conch, dragon's breath, limitless, wild magic, asphyxiate, adrenaline pot sip, greater conch. I think I forgot to exsanguinate this time, so I just used whatever it is, corruption shot, ingenuity, Saren Godbow, greater conch, and then depending on his health, either EOF, Gothic Staff, or Dragon's Breath. So this challenge is pretty easy, but you only do damage with hits that deal above, it looks like maybe 5k, I can't tell. But you just gotta hit him hard. So after you phase him, you just build while he's doing this shit. When he's teleporting you or pulling you or whatever, you can freedom and anticipate to still gain adrenaline. Once you get in here, I like to wild magic, asphyxiate, greater conch, dragon's breath, Gothic Staff, EOF, all the big hitting shit. If it looks like you're gonna fail it, and again, you only need to pass it if you're going for a flawless run or you don't want to take like a 5k hit, you can use Omni Power, but I don't like to because I like to use it on this next bit. So the second you kill this fucker, surge south and book it because it's pretty tight timing to get here before you unlure everything. So you want to stand right exactly here. Actually, I'm in the wrong square. Wait for me to move. Right exactly here. You kill this bird. You pray mage. You wait for the mage to spawn northwest, but you don't click it until it moves a little bit or you're going to unlure yourself. Now, there are 2 Jads north. One of them, the one on the east side, is going to come towards you. Now, in the spot you're currently standing in, it will eventually be able to attack you. But you don't want to move because if you move, you're going to get hit by this meleeer and also like 5 mages. So I stay in this spot and kill the meleeer with Omni Power if I didn't have to use it while Jad runs at me. Now, Jad will probably get in at least 1 attack, maybe 2 or 3 depending on how fast you kill this guy. Just prayer flick and swap it. If it's mage hit, lucky you. If it's range hit, swap, tank it, swap back to magic. Once the meleeer dies, you can move over. I guess it's east 1 square and south 1 square because there's a rock directly east 1 square. That will stick the Jad so you don't have to tank it anymore. So then pray mage, I like to devotion, and then, but you don't have to devotion. You're only actually getting hit by 3 of these like weak mage guys. But I devotion anyway. Kill those 3. You shouldn't have to move to attack any of them. Then you can pretty much go anywhere you want to unlure this Jad. If you go back to where you were, so east 1 square, north 1 square, he'll hit you. If you go east at all, he will hit you. I like to go east and then south like 2 squares to make sure this one last major can't hit me, and I don't unlure the bird directly to east. But you don't have to if you don't want to. I don't know. Anyway, dodge the wave of fire by going east to west when it comes. Kill the Jed, kill the mage, kill the bird thing, run north. Not north. Yeah, run north. Pray mage. Well, prayer flick the Jad, kill the major first. Prioritize killing the major first. And then while you're killing this Jad, this is another spot where I really like to natural instinct before going in the next wave. And I really like to stall the fire before going in the next wave because I don't want it to screw me up. Because outside of wave 8, this is the next hardest wave. So I fight the Jed, I build adrenaline, make sure I'm full, I stall. I don't know, well, it depends on when you get here, but you kind of get a feel for how often the fire is. So I don't. It's hard to tell you how to do it. Just wait. I wait till I think it's about to come. You can literally wait until it comes and then finish them off if you want. But that might mess up your natural instinct timing because if you do that, it's going to wear off anyway. But I think actually in this kill or in this phase, it wore off before I even used it at all. So I don't know if the natural instinct part's important. I just do that because that's how I was really struggling on these waves before I fine-tuned the lures. So the extra adrenaline was really handy. So anyway, I think the fire wave comes out like perfectly. Yep, perfectly as the wave spawns. 200 IQ. No, actually, I probably should have waited a little bit longer to be safe, but it worked out. So you have this mage spawn. You're back in the southwest corner. I love the spot for basically every wave that involves luring. You kill this major. And again, I tsunami to get even more adrenaline with crits. But this one ranger, this guy's the guy you got to deal with. So you pray range. You can pray range for 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. But eventually you're going to have 2 dogs on you and they're going to rock you. So I like to, if you don't kill them immediately, which I kind of did, so this barricade was kind of unnecessary, but I did it anyway. You barricade, you finish him off, and then you need to prioritize these birds actually because you're gonna have to move eventually from either a fire wave or, well, from a fire wave. That's pretty much the only reason I have to move. And these birds will come at you and they will fuck you up. So you just don't want to deal with them. So prioritize those during the barricade, and then once barricade wears off, devotion. And the reason you devotion really is not so much. Well, it's mostly because of the stupid bleed these dumbass birds give you. But anyway, so once you kill some of these dogs, well, you want to kill both of them. But if the fire comes before you kill both of them, it's gonna force you to unlure in some way, shape, or fashion before then. So you want to go north a couple squares, and then you want to go west a couple squares too. Oh well, not a couple, like 1 square. You want to go west like 1 square. That's because you going north is going to unlure the mages, and it's going to drag this ranger with you. If you go west 1 square, the ranger won't be able to hit you. So now you're still on, and don't misclick like I do. But from there you can kill all 3 of these mages without the ranger messing with you. That's good. Like this, that makes this wave extremely easy. You probably don't need a barricade, but I do, and I'm trying to use like literally no food because Harakkan keeps rocking me. I don't really know why. It's probably because I'm too lazy to bring. Maybe not lazy is not the right word, but Harakkan keeps rocking me, so I really don't want to use like any food. So yeah, I like to barricade, but you don't have to, probably. But I would maybe. Devotion might be enough to get you through it. Anyway, kill this ranger, and then you want to immediately go back to where you were during the double Jad wave. With a bit of wiggle room. I think I anticipated that a fire wave was coming like ASAP, so I didn't really know where I wanted to stand to deal with that. But anywhere behind here is pretty good for the most part. You do want to stay more on the west side. And the reason for that is there's going to be a ranger way north, and if you go too far east, you're going to unlure it. And I think I actually did unlure it in this one. So do as I say, not as I do, because I kind of fucked this one up. But not enough for it to be too bad. So anyway, 2 dogs spawn on either side of you. I like to tsunami. Again, this is just adrenaline stuff. Not necessary, but probably the least damage taken way. Do some damage to the dog. Fire comes out. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. There's going to be a ranger that's going to spawn right next to you. I think already I'm too far east. I think right now I'm unluring the ranger actively. So try not to go this far east, and certainly don't go farther than this in reality. But anyway, let's just watch what happens. So I like to barricade this ranger too. Now that's probably not necessary. I could probably devotion and then stun lock him and be fine. But again, trying to minimize food use. This is like super safe way. So you barricade. During barricade, your two objectives are to deal as much damage as possible to this dude and to build adrenaline for devotion, among other things. But even with devotion being your goal, I still like to just omni this dude because he can hit like 3-4 Ks. He hits like a truck. So it gets a little scuffed here. Probably should have eaten, but I don't like to eat. I'm lazy, or I'm stingy af. Anyway, devotion. Once the ranger's done, you can pretty much devotion, finish off the dogs. I don't want to use my freedom on the first few dogs because there's 2 more. But from where you're standing here, which is directly south of like the jut out rock, you can hit a couple mages, but the fire's gonna force you to. Oh no, here's where I unload the ranger. So this is too far. This is probably 1, maybe 2 squares too far east. And I unload the ranger. Not that big a deal because he's behind like 4 things, so he can't hit you. But it makes the next bit of this a little more annoying. And I think I actually get hit by him a couple times. But anyway, when you go to kill these dogs, just go south a little bit, and then they'll be the only thing that can hit you. And then the same is true for the mage on the west side. Go west, but stay south. Oh yeah, here's where I get hit by the ranger a couple times. Because I was like, oh, where'd you come from? But anyway, I go over to the west side, and you kill these guys. If the ranger is still lured up north like he's supposed to be, this will be less of an issue. But either way, you can still do one at a time. And then if the ranger does get unlured, I think what I do here is I go even more west, prey range, kill him. Yep. And then once he's done, I go kill the major. So that's all fine and dandy. So wave 14. Wave 14 is a clone of 4 and 9. Same shit. Stand in this spot. I'm gonna speed up every time. So if you skip to this wave for whatever reason, that'd be weird. Go watch wave 4 because I'm gonna rush through this one. So stand in this spot, kill that dude, kill the ranger. There's a couple things you can do. The only important part of this one that's different from the other ones is maybe I don't unlure the dog. No, I can see on the minimap I unlured the dog again. So you never get to see me not luring the dog. But anyway, go north if you want to lure the mage. Go east 1 square when you want to kill this ranger. Kill everything. And soul split back up to full. Once you get to the mage in the southeast corner, wait for the fire wave because you don't want to get screwed up during your DPS phase of Zuk with a fire wave on your face. That would be really bad. That's the only thing to note. DPS rotation is the same as before. I will go over it again. Now I think I failed this one. Did I fail this one? I think I did. I think actually this one my ingenuity, or no, my limitless like didn't go off or something, and it completely like screwed with my brain. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just makes you have to repeat wave 14, so I'm gonna skip through this because you already know how to do it. Now this is a kind of an unfair representation because I had to do wave 14 twice. I didn't have as much adrenaline crunch as if I had done it in one go. So what I will say to that, because you want to barricade on this, that's the plain and simple of it. What I will say is when you get toward the end of the rotation I just described, so the end of the rotation is after you Saren Godbow, you Greater Conch, and then you either Dragon Breath or Gothic Staff, depending on his health. If his health's too high and you want a Gothic Staff, don't do it, because if you do it and then you phase him to here, you won't be able to barricade. Now, all of that is if you want a flawless run. If you don't care about being flawless, then you don't care. You don't have to barricade. All you have to do is prey flick properly. Except the first hits are not melee. They look like they should be melee, but they're actually typeless. So you either res or divert the first one. Then you pray against the other two. And if you want flawless, even though you're barricaded, you still have to pray against them. I'm pretty sure. So there will be 2 of those, and then another typeless. So if you're not barricaded, and you rezzed or diverted the first one, what do you do for the second one? I don't know. Disruption shield, I guess, but I didn't bring it because I'm maging. Or you tank it with reflect. It's gonna hit a lot. I think it hits like 9k. Anyway, that's all for flawless. Just barricade. I don't know why those are typeless and not melee, but I guess it's because if they were melee, that'd be like the easiest shit in the world. Anyway, wave 16 is Jad. There are plenty of lures, but I don't like to do them because I like a little bit of excitement in my life. So I just tank all 3 of them for fun in the middle. If you don't want to do that, I think if you go, well, my map's backwards. If you go southeast, so behind that kind of L jutting out on the east side, if you go directly behind that, that'll lure all of them. I'm pretty sure. I will double check that, and if it's not true, I'll put it in the comments. I just like to tank all 3 of them because I think it's fun. Maybe I'm a psycho. I'm going to fast forward through these because it's just me killing them. So Harakkan, I don't know what's up with Harakkan. It's weird. So I think I actually discovered on this run, I'm pretty sure there's regular tentacles that do like fuck all, and then there's like enhanced tentacles that like rock you. So you want to find the enhanced ones and you want to kill those and not bother with the other ones because the other ones don't do like anything. I'm not gonna walk through this too much because I think this is like the hardest part for me for some stupid reason. So clearly I'm not doing it correctly. But the key things of note are there's still gonna be fire waves like this one. He's got some kind of reflect or some kind of damage soak mechanics so that you only do damage over a certain amount. So bleeds kind of suck, and I say that while using bleeds, but whatever. Big damage hits when the ground shakes. So I think your screen like moves a little bit. You can definitely hear it. He's throwing something at your very location, and you want to dodge it. I think I don't. Yeah, I don't dodge the first one, and that if you get hit by that, it destroys your adrenaline gain. And when you couple not getting very good adrenaline gain with the fact that he soaks small hits and only takes damage from big hits like thresholds, it really, really makes this a lot harder. So you gotta dodge those. I mean, I don't know. You don't really have any comparison, but or anything to compare it to. But this kill was pretty scuffed because I had crappy adrenaline gain for a decent chunk of it, which made it so that I didn't do a whole lot of damage because of the armor or whatever, the soak. So when it says whatever it says, I don't what the hell does it actually say? Doesn't matter. When you see the red pop up in the middle of your screen that always tells you to move, oh, he's bombarding you. First, he's going to throw a big glob where you're currently standing, and then he's going to throw an X that is centered where you're standing. So you want to like get the hell out of there. I didn't get the hell out of there nearly enough, and I think, did I get signed? Yeah, I got signed because I didn't get the hell out of there nearly enough. So like, run like hell, Surge, do something. Don't be like me. So that was that. That shit was kind of a wake up call for this run. I was like, okay, stop slacking. But anyway, you kind of just DPS him after 2. No, not after 2. Maybe we're gonna find out. After a certain amount of time, he will burrow down, and so this part should have been pretty easy because there's not a whole lot of arm spawns, so you're really not taking a whole lot of damage. But immediately following this, it's gonna get a lot harder. And I think it's those empowered ones. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. But while you're running, so you still get waves of fire while you're running, and you still get he will do that bombard attack. So the X, he'll do that twice, and he'll do the normal non-X ones also when the screen shakes or it makes a little sound. But you should be kind of moving the whole time anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. The bigger thing is after 2X's, then he's going to come back up pretty soon. And I don't know if he 100% swaps sides every time, but I think he seemed to for this run at least. Um, so yeah, I mean, it gets progressively harder because more arms spawn, and I don't know if they're damage ramps or something, but they start rocking you. Like I use a lot of food. I was doing this in 3 cycles, I guess. It's definitely doable in 2 if you don't get like completely fucked up the first one, like I did. I'm pretty sure I did like no damage that first one. But he does that. He does that stuff a lot. Be really like that's the thing that needs the most focus. Dodge those fire the things from the sky, the little blobs that screw with your adrenaline gain. So yeah, I do 3 cycles. So I'm gonna skip through all this. Okay, so once you do kill him, the tentacles stay up for a while, but they seem to become untargetable pretty quick, so you can't build adrenaline off them. But if you die before they're all gone, you have to repeat that. Actually, not even if this hard mode, you don't get to repeat it. You got to start all over if you die. So don't die. I like to safe up for whatever reason. This is Zuk, so I guess I'll do like an actual detailed guide of this because I'm already 42 minutes into this, so I might as well. So the way it works is his first attack is a mage bleed. You pray melee though. It's a melee hit, but it gives you a mage bleed. You can clear this by freedoming. Pretty easy. He will then do 2 more auto attacks. They're pretty slow, so you can get in like 3 abilities. Yay. And then his next spec, it's some kind of searing thing that makes it so that one, your max health goes down, but 2, I think if you stand still, you just get rocked. So the way to get rid of it easily is to surge and then immediately run back through him. And if you got a sunshine or something, run all the way through him. Because I started the fight with no adrenaline. There's no sunshine, so I just stay over here. But you want to move. So there's a debuff. There's a thing on your debuff bar. It's got a 15 on it at the beginning. So you have to move 15 squares and then it goes away. Surge will get you most of the way, and then just run the other 5, I guess, or 10 or 6. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, after that, you have 2 more autos. Again, 2 more of his autos, so 3 more abilities. And then he'll do this weird smash thing. This is going to make 4 craters on the ground. It's really important to dodge these because the craters will give you that same bleed that the first attack did, but your freedom's going to be on cooldown. And there's a hit later. There's a hit immediately after this that you need to res, and that bleed will snipe it, which will make your job a lot harder. So you can surge away, or you can kind of, if you just run in a circle, usually they don't hit you, but their spawn seems to be kind of random, so they still could. And once they appear, these cracks, you have like maybe a couple game ticks to get away from them before they'll give you that bleed. And the bleed like ramps up, so if you stay in it, the bleed will fuck you up. But even 1 tick of the bleed will screw up the res. So anyway, moving on. 2 autos, and then he'll do this attack. He usually says die or something else, and he makes that cute pulling animation thing. And then you got a res. If you got the bleed on you, you can try to time the res, or you can debilitate or reflect or both. I think it hits probably like it only hits like a 5 or 6k. It's not a one shot, don't worry. But still, if you've gotten here with low food, you still, yeah, I don't know. Do whatever you need to do, but now you know. It's not too hard to do on tick, but yeah, the best solution is just not to get the bleed. So 2 more attacks, and then he's gonna go invulnerable, and I think Protox calls this pizza time, which he divides so he pulls you somewhere, which you can freedom, and then he's gonna light the whole arena on fire except for 1 like pizza slice size section, and it's always going to be clockwise 60 degrees from you. So basically, he's gonna pull you and face you away from him. You want to face toward him again and immediately surge, and then run to the side. It's always gonna be that same thing. It's always gonna be clockwise like 60 degrees. It's going to be the same 3 igneous things from before. It's going to be the melee one, so you want to stun him. It's going to be the ranger next, so you want to threshold or ultimate, and then it's going to be the mage, so you just want to stand melee distance to it. So yeah, if you kill him fast enough, you can get on him to build some adrenaline, and then just immediately surge the second the fire goes away, and then run the last little bit to get to the next one. It's pretty easy to DPS. Once you kill all 3, or actually, well, once the time limit goes off, if you fail to kill all 3, well, if you fail to kill one of the first 2, you're just done, because he'll insta kill you. If time runs out on the last one, the mage will still be alive, so you'll have a little bit of time, but he'll start channeling this insta kill. You'll have the extra action button. You have like maybe 5 seconds to use it, and that'll cancel the insta kill, and then it just starts over. I think you get 2 autos off the start for free, and then it just repeats. So first one's freedom, second one's surge, third one's run around and don't get bled, and then the fourth one is res or tank the big hit. The only other thing to note for at least the first half, but it's really 90% of the fight, is that if you run out of melee distance, he will mage you. His mage hit looks like the big hit that you res. But it's more subtle. But it's that same, like, he raises his hand and then like pulls it towards him. That's mage hit. So you can flick mage. I'm trying to see if I get hit by one of them. I might after the surge. Yeah, there we go. So after the surge, he does it. You can see. And so I just tick over to mage for 1 tick and then swap back to melee. Easy enough. So I'm going to fast forward through all this because that's literally like the whole fight until you get him down to 100k. You might be noticing my prayers are running a bit low, so I turned off my damage prayer. That made this take a bit longer. So yeah, maybe bring 1 more restore if you do this. Don't bring 5, bring 6. Or do more damage than me and do faster. But anyway, once you get him to 100k, he'll jump over there and sit on his throne. Oh fuck, I need to sit on his throne for the achievement. Whatever. Anyway, he'll spawn this pillar. Now, fight's basically over at this point. It's very easy. You run in a circle because he throws shit on the ground behind you, and that shit will fuck you up. And you DPS the pillar. Every time you get it down to 0, he will charge an insta-kill hit. But you can res it, or barricade it, or immort it, or whatever. So you just run a circle, you DPS it. Once you kill it, you'll see the red text pop up, and then you can do like 2 or 3 more abilities. I do 2 more abilities, don't get greedy, and then res the first one. Then you get back on, you kill the pillar again, and then once it's done, your res will, well, depending on how fast you are, if your res is still on cooldown, then I usually barricade this one. So keep it in mind, keep your adrenaline high when this pillar's almost done, because you're about to barricade. Once you barricade this one, I actually like to sit in my barricade and let my run regen a little bit, because you'll run out, actually. You can, if you don't have like a stamina pot, or you sit in that pool or whatever. So I just chill, like literally, just let your run regen for like 5 seconds. That's all it takes. 5 seconds. And then, once that's done, back to running around in a circle. Take the shield off, run around in a circle. Next time, your res should be back up again, so you res the next insta-kill hit. You also might be noticing at this point that every time you kill the pillar, it does 20k damage to Zuk. So you have to do it 5 times, basically. So you res the first time, you barricade the second time, and if you want to chill for a bit and get your run back, you res the third one, and then you can probably immort the fourth one, but because I had no prayer and because I was low food, I wasn't sure if getting stuck in the immort resurrection animation was going to get me hit by these stupid bomb things. So I literally just chill for a minute until my res comes back, and I res the fourth one. I would recommend doing that. It's like you literally just wait like 10 seconds. So anyway, res the fifth one, and now it's basically done. I think I ran out of run here, and it actually got a little sketchy, and it's really funny that I almost threw this whole thing because I think I got hit by like 3 in a row. Yeah, got a little sketchy. hurts to watch. Anyway, once you kill this last pillar, that's the whole thing. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This guide was way longer than I thought it was going to be. So use the timestamps. Bye-bye.